let's get to Heisman watch. Man, there were big moves. And man, there were people taking victory laps after one whole game. Yeah, I bet it. I had sellers. I told you guys also. One game. One game. Yeah. We know the favorite doesn't win. So now what? The second favorite after one game? Just lock it up and we're good? Apparently, according to some people.
Well, he is the favorite at BetMGM. According to our rail, Lenore Sellers is 7-1 to win the Heisman. Garrett Nussmeier 8-1. Now, I put in our rundown, I like to look at the whole market, and Vegas Insider does a really nice job of putting all the separate books in columns. Depending on the shop, there's a different favorite at a couple. But you're mostly consensus price looking at Nuss and Sellers around 8-1. We can call them consensus co-favorites. But at BetMGM, you have Sellers at 7, Nuss at 8, and then where's my guy Carson Beck, 12-1, same price as Gunnar Stockton, who I don't know if he's good yet. I still don't know that.
I think know. He's not
He's
Heisman
number
good.
4 on the list. Number 4 on the list, but I don't know if he's good. I take nothing from a game against Marshall. I think the real interesting part of this new list as we do our Heisman watch is that every guy that was near the top disappointed. And I watched the entire Ohio State-Texas game. I gave the over in the game on this show. I picked it on Fox, on my newsletter, and I got a bunch of whoops, nice call, nice pick. Well, I bought the Arch hype. I did. I was fed Arch hype by every bettor and bookmaker that I know, and they scored 7 points. I'll take full accountability. It was a bad pick. Over 47.5 was a bad pick. But Arch was your favorite. And then you had, guys like Jeremiah Smith near the top. Cade Klubnik was the second favorite. You had a lot of guys near the top that didn't perform. Julian Sayin was 12-1. Julian Sayin's now 25-30-1. So all these guys that were just hyped to no end all summer long. Arch, Sayin, Jeremiah Smith, Cade Klubnik. They all fell in this market. Now, I'm not saying they can't win it. I'm not saying that. But Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt on the call on Fox this is the best player in football. He dropped 2 passes in the first half. They hit him in the hands. So the lesson is always be careful, whether it be a player or a team, be careful with that preseason hype.
And going into this week, I'm looking at the Mateer 16-1, who, by the way, he had the third most passing yards in the country this weekend, almost, I believe, 400. If he wins that game, it's the only big game of the week, Michigan, Oklahoma. I know they're 6.5 point favorites, but he had a big week 1. He was getting preseason hype. And if they win this game at home, if he puts up numbers, he's going to join Beck, Sellers, Stockton. Agree?
Yes, of course. Especially beating Michigan and out-dueling Bryce Underwood, which shouldn't be that difficult. It's a freshman, true freshman, going on the road, making his first ever road start. You should play better than a true freshman on the road. So you outplay this 5-star recruit and beat Michigan. That's another feather in the cap. And of course, that number will go down. I don't find myself really wanting to bet John Mateer, though. There was a player that I watched a lot this weekend, and that's Utah's Devin Dampier. Utah has an offense now. Historically, Utah is a run the ball, play action, hit the tight end, and just lock you up on defense. Do you see the final score in the Utah-UCLA game? They pounded them. Yeah. 43-10. Utah gets 43 points, and Dampier's got 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 touchdown on the ground. Utah feels like they have an offense this year. So Dampier almost 300 yards of offense and 3 touchdowns. His market right now, you could find a 35-1 on Devin Dampier at Utah. On the low end, 22. On the high end, 35. That's a kid that I think is going to be in the conversation, and that's still a number I feel good about, north of 30-1.
Maybe I wasn't expecting to do this, but maybe we should have a Utah conversation. I don't know that we talked a ton about them. Just the idea that their conference is pretty wide open. But you look at it, okay, if you pull up their schedule right now, they have 3 ranked teams on the year. 3 currently ranked teams they're going to play. They get them all at home. All 3. Next week, Cal Poly. After that, at Wyoming. Not a lot of scheduled losses. There are 0 scheduled losses. Doesn't mean they won't lose a game, but this is a team that was not talked about this much in the offseason. Maybe it's time to talk about them. I wrote down 2 names and numbers. Arch goes from the betting favorite to as high as 18-1. Texas schedule next 3 weeks. San Jose State at home. UTEP at home. Sam Houston at home. Arch will not be 18-1 coming up in a few weeks. That's perfect for him. Faced a great defense. Now we've got 3 layups all in Austin, Texas. So I'm looking at that 18-1, knowing that number is not going to be there. And I'm still staring at Drew Aller. Drew Aller's 20-1. He did fine. Nothing spectacular, but it was a little sister of the poor in Nevada. Penn State wins 46-11, 22 for 26, whatever. FIU and Nova also at home next couple weeks. September 27th, they play Oregon. That's going to be a monster contest. But I'm looking at Arch 18, Aller 20-1. If I'm looking for value right now, that's where I would go. Either interest you.
We did discuss best thing for Texas would be losing week 1 and then betting Texas to win the title and Arch to win the Heisman. Now, I didn't think we'd get 18-1. I was thinking they were going to go from 5-6-1 to 10-1 or 12-1. So if I was hoping for a 12, how do I not pop a little 18? Just a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah.
Just a little at 18.